Hey there once again, ladies and gentlemen, guys and girls, and all motorsports fans alike. It is championship weekend here for season 1 of the Speed Racing Series here in Hotlanta, Georgia at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we're just about ready to begin single car qualifying here tonight. 30 cars strong to go for the victory one last time in the race, but 4 drivers in the field are mathematically alive to take home the first ever championship for this series. So on track first is the number 6 Chevy of Gatlin Downey out of Kentucky and the Harman Benning Peterson team. Downey being slowest in the open practice session that we held in the Discord not too long ago. And that is how qualifying order is determined. So it'll go from slowest to fastest, and Downey ended up 30th, being the slowest time. So he's going to be the first out. He'll be the first guinea pig on the track this evening. So right here, this will be his green flag lap. This will be the one that'll count when he gets to the line. Downey sitting 21st in the driver's standings with 1 top 10 to brag about, a 6th place finish at Dover. And that finish was monumental for that low-budget operation team, them doing the best they can. So coming around for the checkered flag to end his fast lap. As Downey speeds to the line, he will get a 29.985. And that will be what he'll post up right here. So that will be the time to beat for everyone else. Coming to the line to post his fast time, the 00 Permatex Chevy of Nick Breeding, the Virginia native, sitting 23rd in the driver's standings. He had a pretty sluggish start to the season, but he had a few good runs during the midpoint of the season, and it really righted the ship for he and that Starcom team. A 32.73 for lap 1, but coming to the line, this will be the one that counts. His Breeding comes to the line, and there he goes, a 29.994. He's actually slower than Downey by 9 thousandths of a second, so Breeding will be slotted into second, so Downey can breathe for at least a little bit more. Diego Yepez in the number 77 Bass Pro Shops Dodge will now hit to the track to post a qualifying time. Yepez, another driver who's had a bit of a lackluster season. He sits 19th in points with just 1 top 10 finish coming at Daytona in the season opener. But right there, his first lap, it's already faster than the 6 and the 00, so Yepez can easily claim the top spot here. But let's see how much he'll improve. Car 77 to the line. A 29.682. Not too bad, as Yepez will go to P1 with that time. Here's another Dodge to take a time. Sebastian Kukulin in the 89 Bold Rock Dodge for Bishop Family Racing. Kukulin a couple races ago earned his season best result of 12th out at Rockingham. And easily his best outing since Daytona, but Kukulin, he's had a real rough go this season, so he just wants to end this finale on a high note, just like his teammate RJ Bishop, who will be coming up a couple cars from now. 29.833. Let's see how faster he can go. Kukulin, a 29.521, and that will steal the number 1 time from Yepez, so that's where Kukulin is. Canada's own Kyle Collins coming to the green flag for his fast lap here at Atlanta in the number 99 Tide Chevrolet, a teammate to Nick Breeding, who right now is the slowest overall. But Collins having a decent enough season. He's 15th in points, but with the number 9 team of Brett Houck not entered for this weekend, he's sure to take at least the 14th place position in points from him. But Collins looking to end the season with a bang in a good way. So Collins coming to the line, he will post a 29.447. So that's easily better than the 89 of Kukulin. So Kyle Collins, P1 in the 99 machine. Here's the teammate of Sebastian Kukulin, RJ Bishop, the Arizona native in the number 98 Dodge. Coming up for his quick time of the night. Bishop, just like Kukulin, having a very rough go for Season 1. So he has the same mentality, just to put Season 1 behind him and just get it over with, because he's 26th in the driver's standings. I think that's the second worst of all the drivers that have made every race this season. So what can Bishop do to recover himself in qualifying? A 29.404. And he will go ahead of Kyle Collins in the timesheet. So Bishop continuing the trend of cars that are getting faster each time here. Taking the white flag now is the Iowa driver, Mitchell Collins, in car number 22. The driver sitting 27th in the driver's standings, the lowest out of all the drivers who have made every race. And Collins actually failed to make the show at Talladega the last time out for being too slow and not making the 110% rule, and SRS officials parked him for that weekend. But Collins looking to bounce back and get a quick time underneath him. This is already looking good to get in the 28-second marker, and it does, a 28.667 for Mitchell Collins. And that will be the hot time to shoot for, so you can expect the cars ahead to get under 28 seconds. Coming to the green flag, it's the Midas Ford Fusion of Christian Vargas in car numero uno for Sanders Performance Auto Racing. Claiming a podium finish out at Talladega last time around. Easily his season best result, so that one team, that was definitely a shot in the arm that one team needed. So Vargas looking to keep up that strength here in Atlanta. 29.144 for his first lap. So here comes Vargas. What will he do? A 28.926. It is not as quick as Mitchell Collins, so that will put Vargas into second. So Collins still holding pretty good in that 22, but that's where Vargas positions himself. Shade Eaves on the track, the first out of 3 entries for Smith-Built Motorsports this weekend. He gets the green flag with a 28.599. Already right to the top of the board on his first lap, so a great lap for the Mississippi native. As this will be his third SRS start. He finished 17th at Rockingham and was running good for a while at Talladega before suffering tire problems and finishing 16th. But here is that 83 zipping to the line. This ought to be a good improvement right here, a 28.404. And that is easily the fastest time here, so Eaves right up to the top, but he's got plenty other drivers behind him. 10th driver on the track. Here comes Alabama's own Scott Rauch in that 50 car for his family-owned team. Rauch feeling a happy camper after Talladega, his home race, finishing 6th over there. So he was pretty excited to get that finish, and he'll look to see if he can do just as good, if not better, here at Atlanta. He's got a 28.888 for his first lap. Here comes that 50 of Rauch. Rauch moving over to Rambler Racing, with his team being absorbed into the Rambler Racing team for next season. And right now a 28.681. That's actually third behind Eaves and Mitchell Collins. So Rauch P3. Coming to the green, here comes the green Dollar Tree Toyota of Japanese sensation Yoshiko Sakamoto for Shell United Motors. Sakamoto sitting 9th in the standings with 3 top 5s, 7 top 10s, doing pretty well for herself in this first season. Although she had that tumble at Charlotte, it's otherwise been a pretty decent season for her. But it's not an ideal first lap. She failed to break under the 29-second bracket for lap 1. So it'll be curious to see how she'll do here. A 28.985. And that will slot her in 5th between Christian Vargas and RJ Bishop. So at least she's within the 28s, but probably a disappointing lap for her, to say the least. The last time this series raced at a 1.5 mile track in Chicagoland, it was this driver who won that race, Zachary Dilelo from North Carolina, in the 15 Dr. Pepper Toyota for pole position racing. He won the pole at Talladega last time around, so he wants to make it back-to-back. Dilelo sitting 6th in the standings with that one win at Chicagoland being his highlight of this season. Let's see how quicker he can go here with a 28.867. His time now, 28.695. And that will place him fourth between Scott Rauch and Christian Vargas, a 28.695 for your Chicagoland winner. Another driver who's had a pretty sluggish season but hopes to go out in style is Dylan Young from Chicago in his own Wawa Ford Fusion for Young Motorsports. And I didn't mention this earlier, but both Young and his teammate Mitchell Collins, they have acquired cars from Scott Rauch Racing. So they'll have they got fresher equipment, new everything for this weekend. So that explains why Collins is still in second. But what can his teammate do? Dylan Young, the 24th place driver in the standings, a 28.866. I know for a fact that's slower than Collins, 28.866. That'll put him fifth between Zachary Dilelo and Christian Vargas. So Young fails to dethrone his teammate, but still a pretty nice lap for him. Here's the slick and sporty DraftKings Ford Fusion of Aidan Smith in that 68 car, the second Smith-built car to take a time tonight. 28.707, that's a pretty good lap one right there. Aidan Smith holding down a top 10 position in the point standings with 3 top 5s, 6 top 10s. So if he can maintain a top 10 points position, then I'd say that's a pretty satisfying outcome for the Virginian. But his teammate of Eaves is still P1. Can he knock him off of that spot? Oh, man, 0.02 of a second short is Aidan Smith. Eaves still hangs on to P1 with a 28.404, but that's just about equal for those two teammates. But Smith, not quite enough to take the pole position away from Shade Eaves. Here's the 61 of Ontario's Joseph Shrigley. Yeah, I'll flip that. That was pretty late into it. The pilot flying date. Come on. Here's the number 61 pilot flying J Dodge of Joseph Shrigley, the Ontario driver. The 15th driver to take a time tonight. And how about that? A 28.694 for his first lap. But Shrigley, his teammate Charles Sanford, who's going to qualify later on, he is one of the 4 championship candidates, while Shrigley's kind of been off in the distance, sitting 16th on the points with just 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s. But he feels like his Dodge is fast enough to put down a good time. How will he do here? A 28.328. And that will indeed take the pole position from Eaves. And up to P1 goes Joseph Shrigley. He won the pole at Daytona, so we'll see if anyone can try to take it from here in Atlanta. But 15 out of 30 cars are done. Here's the Hoosier in the field on the track, James Ellison in the number 3 Wabash Crossroads Racing Chevy. Looking to put a solid end to his season and get a little bit of rebound going for himself. Got in an incident at Chicagoland, had a okay run at Rockingham, and then got wrecked in the big one at Talladega, dropping him to 12th in the point standings. So Ellison trying to get at least one more good run to end his season. As he comes to the line right here, how will he do? A 28.389. And that will be good enough to put Ellison in the second position behind Joseph Shrigley. So I'm sure Ellison's got to feel pretty confident with that lap, but I'm sure there are faster cars coming. Storming onto the scene like an F-18, here's Western New York's Jesse Turner driving his number 94 U.S. Air Force car. The driver who's gotten 2 top 10s this season wants to get one more in the bag before season 1 is through. But it should be noted that for championship weekend, both he and his Lake Effect Autosport teammate Glen Mixon, they've received new cars and new supplies from Rambler Racing, their fellow Ford team, in better hopes of gaining Ford Drivers and Owners Championship this season, and Turner's hope to be on pace to do that. And right there, a 28.281 for Jesse Turner, and that will be enough to edge ahead of Joseph Shrigley, so you can put Turner on top right now. Rounding out of turn 4, it's your very first winner at Daytona this season, Lane Sanders, in his number 87 Domino's Ford Fusion. Sanders hoping to accomplish the feat of winning both the first and the last races of Season 1. And definitely hoping to shake off the bad memories and the blame game that he has with between he and James Ellison for causing that big one at Talladega on lap 3. That was a crushing blow for him over there, but he hopes to bounce back. And we'll see how well he does here in qualifying. A 28.419, and that is going to put him 6th behind Aidan Smith. So that is where Sanders will line up for now with about 12 cars to go. From the land down under, here's Zachary Fitzwater, hoping to put his number 86 Marina Fox Foundation Ford Fusion at the top of the speed times here. He's gotten 2 top 10s on the season, coming at Road America and Rockingham. Right now, his teammates have near identical times in 4th and 5th of Smith and Eaves, so he's hoping to get the better of those two. A 28.620 for his first lap. Don't know if that may be fast enough to take the pole from Turner, but let's see how he does. And there you go, a 28.326. And that is just good enough to edge out Joseph Shrigley by just 0.02 of a second. So you can move Fitzwater up to position number 2. 2 times he's been a winner this season, and he wants to gain a 3rd one. It's Lucas Catano, driving the number 20 Bass Pro Shops car for Martin Motorsports. And another teammate of his, Luke Martin, he's one of the 4 title favorites. As Catano puts up a 28.722, yeah, I think that's a bit far off from where he'd like to be. So he may have his work cut out for him come race time. And Catano ends up with a 28.413, which will put him 7th between Aidan Smith and Lane Sanders. And Catano will slot in there, but we'll see how his teammate Martin does. Leading the charge for the final 10 cars to take time, here's Zachary Benton, hailing from the 2nd state of the Union, Pennsylvania. Making his 2nd career start in the series this weekend. At Talladega, that's where his first start was, and he ended up finishing 9th. So not too bad of a job, even though he had to pit on the last lap to get more fuel. Still a good learning experience for him, and racing here at Atlanta, it'll give him more valuable seat time, and should he run as a rookie in Season 2, he'll be more prepared. But I don't think that's going to really put a big smile on his face. A 28.635 for Benton, and that will put him 9th in between Lane Sanders and Mitchell Collins. So Benton will also have a somewhat deep starting position, it seems. Moving from a guy who's going to make his 2nd start this weekend to a driver who's going to make his very first SRS appearance this weekend. It's Vince Freeze from New Jersey, hopping into the 3rd entry by Joseph Shrigley Racing. This number 11 team being put together kind of at a later notice, but it's not like this team is going in here blind. I mean, he's got the guidance of Charles Sanford and the team boss Joseph Shrigley to lean on for knowledge and information. So Freeze making the most of this opportunity, and he's got a fast lap coming on, and he's got a 28.305. That is barely not going to be enough for the pole, but Vince Freeze going to slot into 2nd behind Jesse Turner, so a good job for his first time out in qualifying. Carrying the torch for the Toyota team, it is Ryan Griffin in the number 01 Cookout Toyota Camry from Team Dayspring. A driver who honestly should be a lot higher in the points than where he's been running. He had that bad stretch of races between rounds 5, 6, and 7. Didn't really get any breaks in that time, and it's dropped him to 11th in the standings. So Griffin on his way to recovery and maybe stealing a top 10 points position before this is done here. And a 28.487 for Ryan Griffin, and that's going to put him in 10th in between Lane Sanders and Zachary Benton. So Griffin will be there, and with faster cars coming, I'm sure Griffin's going to have to work his way from the top 15. Right here, ladies and gentlemen, is your first heavy hitter in this championship fight, Luke Martin, in his number 54 Martin Motorsports Ford Fusion. And look at that, he's got a 28.388 for his first lap. So if I was Jesse Turner, I'd be sort of panicking right now because that silver bullet is just cruising along. Martin sitting only a mere 13 points behind TJ Hanley for the championship lead. And don't forget this Coors Light scheme. This is the same scheme that he took to victory lane with at Rockingham 2 rounds ago. And Martin will do it. A 28.077. And that will handily take the pole position away from Jesse Turner. So with a handful of cars remaining, let's see if Luke Martin can hang on and claim another pole. Well, the last time we saw this driver on the track, he went to victory lane. And that is New Jersey's own TJ Smith. Looking to keep the good times rolling for S3 Motorsports and Chevy. With him going to victory lane, taking them to a victory lane at Talladega last round out. Looking to make it a repeat. And with that win, Smith elevated himself to 5th in points. Although just shy of championship contention, but a top 5 points position is still well within reach. So how much will he improve from a 28.805? A 28.476. And that will slot him in 11th between Lane Sanders and Ryan Griffin. So not the flashiest of laps, but he's got his teammate Ryan Dagbe coming up. So we'll see how the second S3 Motorsports car does. The final 5 cars of this qualifying session begins with this man, Ryan Dagbe, the aforementioned teammate to TJ Smith. As Dagbe still winless this season and is looking to crack into the top 15 in points, and with Brett Houck not entered for this race, he may do it. Just need to put one more solid finish together and keep the pride going for S3. He's got a 28.582 for lap 1. And Dagbe coming along, and he will post a 28.286. Well done for Dagbe, and that will just lose out on the second position to Jesse Turner by 5 thousandths of a second. But nonetheless, he's got a podium position right now. Championship candidate number 2 on the track for the moment. Here's the Californian, Charles Sanford, hoping to seal up the championship and run down TJ Hanley and Luke Martin in bid for that prize. And a 28.372. He's got a fast lap 1 for himself. Sanford 46 points out of the championship lead. Gaining 3 wins in a row at Richmond, Darlington, and Dover. Bringing so much success to that 16 team. Where will he line up here? A 28.256. And guess what, Luke Martin? You got your buddy Charles Sanford starting right behind you. That's where Sanford is, P2. So will he remain there? Only time will tell. Let's get to the next qualifier. Taking the white flag now is Glen Mixon, the South Carolina native. Teammate to the 3rd place qualifier right now, Jesse Turner. And like I said earlier, Mixon and Turner both having that Rambler power underneath the hood of their Ford Fusions for this weekend. Mixon and Turner making the most of it here for the Lake Effect team. A 28.514. That's not too shabby of a first lap. But here comes Mixon to the line. And a 28.248 for Mixon. Being the meat in the sandwich between Martin and Sanford. So Mixon having a strong outing here for that lap. But he's got 2 other strong competitors behind him. Let's get to him now. On track now, the driver who's 4th in the point standings, but still has a good possibility to claim it for himself. It's Harrison Ryley, the Connecticut native, in his number 12 Aaron's Dream Machine Toyota Camry for pole position racing, your Road America winner at round 8. So he sits 67 points behind points leader TJ Hanley. And right now he's got a 28.639 for lap 1. His 2 teammates of Zachary Benton and Zachary Dilelo not even in the top 15. So we'll see what the 12 can do here. A 28.367. And that will slot him into 9th between Joseph Shrigley and James Ellison. So Ryley still within a good reach of the points leaders, but he can definitely make it up. He'll just have to have some strategy to his race, and maybe he might have a chance. But we got one more car to go, and it's your points leader, TJ Hanley. Here we go, folks. The driver who has the biggest target on his back out of anyone this weekend. It's TJ Handley, your points leader in the number 21 Good Sam Ford Fusion for Rambler Racing. Entering this weekend P1 in the standings, and he hopes to remain that way when he leaves at Atlanta Motor Speedway. A 28.551, that's definitely not as strong of a first lap as Martin did. But it's crunch time, can't let off the gas now. Who will win the pole, Handley or Martin? At the line, a 28.337 for TJ Handley. And that's going to put him in 9th between Joseph Shrigley and Harrison Ryley. That means Luke Martin will be your pole sitter for the finale weekend here at Atlanta Motor Speedway for round 12. So a job well done by Martin, getting the prime lap that he needed to seal that pole position away. And also a big pat on the back to Glen Mixon, too, for his first ever front row starting spot in the second. But Martin, by winning the pole, that'll be 1 bonus point shaven off of the points lead by Handley. So that'll leave just 12 points separating the two Ford drivers. But race day will be in just a few days' time. We hope you folks can catch it there. Stay tuned for what's going to unfold, and I'm sure you won't want to miss it. We'll see you folks for round 12.